Alright, first things first, let me know how it looks on the lens. Now, I will see it in editing before you see this published video, but right now while I'm filming, I can't really see. I did find those microfiber lens wipes that are safe for all lenses, glass and plastic, and I used it, so in theory, what you're seeing is better. I don't know yet until I go home and edit it, but I wanted to talk today about volume in poker. Volume is really important. Say it every once in a while, but it's really important. One way I want to show it is to show when the sample gets bigger, how much more often I have winning stretches. So I looked at every time I've played in a day. I looked at my weeks, looked at my months, and looked at my calendar years. The thing is, need to really put some qualifiers on this, because I mean there have been months where I played like once. It's very easy to have a losing month when I have one session, when there were like finals going on and holidays and stuff like that. Very difficult when I play like 150 hours. So here are the qualifiers. I'll put them over there. If I could not get splinters from resting my hand on this wooden post. Okay, so try to keep it about 4 hours per day throughout. So for the day, I only looked at days in which I played a minimum of 4 hours. I think my shortest session ever, once in Milwaukee, I think I played 2 hands. I was dealt in. It's not like I got to showdown both hands. I was dealt into 2 hands and then I left. Story for another day. But 4 hours. For the week, tried to keep that same idea, 4 hours per day playing every day. It's about 30 hours for the week. So I only looked at weeks in which I had a minimum of 30 hours played. For the month, similar thing, 120 hours, which is like 4 a day. It's 30, 31, 28, 29 days in a month. I know in another video, I think it was February 2023, I had my first losing month in which I called it a full-time month. In that video, if you remember, I think I gave 160. Let's get you out of the wind. 160 hours as the minimum there, because that's like playing full-time. That was a different idea for a video. So in that video, I think I put the minimum 160 hours for the month. But this, just for like removing the like really volatile short sample sizes, I think 120 hours for the month is fine. And for the calendar year, I made it, this is where I kind of ditched the idea of 4 hours a day. I think 500 hours is a good enough sample for the year, and that's pretty much every year since 2015. I had a year in which I played 4 sessions before I was like really into poker. I had another calendar year where I played for pretty much a month. I had some time before grad school started, and then I was very busy, but pretty much since 2015, yeah, I've hit 500 hours even when I was in law school. So let's get into the specifics. All right, and now the sun is hitting me, so now you can really see as I take a stroll along this football/lacrosse field, if the lens is way better, because I cleaned it. So, days. How many days did I play poker and minimum 4 hours per day? 1,566 times that happened. I played at least 4 hours in a day, and I had 1,001 winning sessions. So that's about 63.9, okay? So that's where we're starting. 4 hours in a day, and the percent of the time where I end the day with a winning session. And by the way, not that it makes much of a difference, but I did not even count break-even days. If it was exactly break-even, that counted as a loss. I had to make at least $1 on the day. 63.9% of the time, I had a winning session. Now, let's go to weeks. There have been 210 calendar weeks in my life where I played at least 30 hours of poker, and don't have it memorized, so I gotta look back. 169 of them, I won at least $1. 169 out of 210 winning weeks. What's the percent? You're already seeing it on the bottom, 80.5%. There you go. Volume is important. I know I've talked about the concept before, but in my spreadsheet, I of course keep stats for the day and then also the week, the month, the year. the week, usually just to see that I'm like keeping up decent volume, so I don't have to look at the day-by-day stuff and be adding things up. Oh, I played this many hours this week. Oh, it looks solid. Then, and for the month, I don't know. The month I don't have a great reason, but if I'm going to keep track for the day, the week, and the year, why not the month? So, great transition. Let's go into the months. 56 months in my life, 56 calendar months in my life, I have played at least 120 hours of poker, and 52 of them were winners. So 52 divided by 56, don't have it memorized, got to check my paper, 92.3%. So gets even higher. Went from the 60s to the 80s to the 90s, and let's cap it off. I don't even need to look at this one because the numbers are so simple. Calendar years in which I played at least 500 hours of poker, 9. How many? Did I make at least $1? 9. 9 for 9, very easy division, 100%. So it went from, let's make some room over here, day, week, month, year, with these qualifiers. Not that they're completely arbitrary, but I did just like, you know, nothing official. There's no official qualifier like almanac out there or anything. 60% to in the 80s to in the 90s to an even perfect 100%. So a lot of people get into poker, and I think a lot of them think, oh, this is great, since I don't have a boss, since I am my boss, I could just do as little as possible. It is nice on certain days to not need to like wake up at a certain time, to not need to put in like a full 10-hour day of poker. That is nice, but think the reason a lot of people get into poker is also the reason they don't make it, because they don't have like the will to be their own boss and get enough volume in. So people don't just win constantly and disappear. That's not a thing. They disappear because they're either losing, they're breaking even, they're winning but bleeding at something else. They're winning but not making as much as they thought. Well, if you played more, that fixes everything. If you're a winning player and you played more, that fixes everything. If you're a losing player, you have bigger problems. There are plenty of winning players out there who tried to make it in poker and failed. Well, if you're a winning player, why did you fail? Because you didn't have enough money? How could you be a winning player and not have enough money? You didn't play often enough. You didn't play enough days, you didn't play enough weeks, you didn't play enough hours. I remember watching a video, not that this guy didn't make it, but I don't know, a 5'10" player, it was a few years ago, and he said his goal was 150 hours a month. All right, he, I don't know what he makes. It must be somewhere between like 75 and like $125 an hour if he's a winning 5'10" player. So yeah, 150 hours a month, solid. I have no idea what his expenses are. He definitely has enough under the right expenses circumstances to make it for a long time in poker. But there are a lot of people who like their goal is like 100 hours and they never come close to it, and they play like 60. And like, I don't care what your hourly is, you play 60 hours a month and you're just gonna run out of money. That's not enough. There are a lot of hours in the week, in the month, to only be playing 60 if it's your like, if it's your priority, if it's your top income. It's just lazy. Like, there's no way around it. So I've seen plenty of people way better than me at poker who make way more money per hour than me at poker. But for one, even though it's a different discussion, their expenses are a mess. But the big thing, they don't play enough. It's like they don't really like poker. They don't really like doing something. When it was like fun and part-time, it was easy to play. When it was their main thing, or when it became like, it went from a hobby to like a much more serious hobby, a hobby where they expected to make money, they started playing less. Like, there's no way around it. If you're gonna be successful in poker, full-time, recreationally, whatever your goals are, if any, like, your goals don't need to be related to money, but if any of your poker goals are related to money, like, there's no way around it. More hours is more money, and that's gonna fix everything. That's gonna smooth out the volatility. That's gonna turn some, you know, maybe after 30 hours in the week, you were break even. If you managed to play 50 hours in the week, it would have been a nice winning week. If you only played 5 hours in the day, maybe you were sitting on a loss. If you played 10 hours that day, you would have ended with a winning day. So it smooths things out, it adds money to your bottom line. And a lot of people think of everything in poker except volume. So I just wanted to show you these numbers, that volume fixes a lot of ails in poker. And remember, rice is a spoon food.